Welcome back to the lab, my treasured assistants. I hope you've all been doing well. As for me, I've been doing a lot better now that Rapture has agreed to our little photo op. If you've happened to stumble across me on Twitter, you know that I've been trying to convince her to take a simple photo over these last few weeks. And after a bit of back and forth, she's finally agreed to it. All it cost me was a sample of my blood. And a near-death experience it'll have to circumvent. But I'll handle that when the time comes. I may not understand her fascination with blood, but I can't say that it surprises me. Considering her biology, it's only natural, but I feel that her attachment is considerably different from the majority of her kin. Traditionally, vampires hunted as a means of survival, for blood acts as a form of nutrition that their uniquely undead bodies lack. But Rapture has adapted this ritual feeding into a social practice, as common as sharing a drink with a friend, or giving a firm handshake when meeting someone new. I wonder if her magically imbued genes are responsible for this development. Or perhaps it's just a result of modernization. I'll have to ask her about it next time I get the chance. Forgive me for getting ahead of myself. I tend to forget that you lot are still relatively new to the lab, so you have yet to meet the others that help me keep things afloat. So allow me to give you a proper introduction in her stead. As you might have guessed, this facility is far too expensive to run on just my two hands alone. So, I've assembled a team of individuals known as the Mad Hands that have in one or another made significant contributions to the maintenance and growth of this place. Among the research sector, Rapture has proven to be such an individual. Thanks to her expertise, she's innovated a number of sensory-altering drugs and serums that have improved the functioning of all the sectors within the lab. An aesthetic that works on all race of beings that's used to pacify unruly subjects. Truth serums, used by the covert operations sector, that make their interrogations less physical. antidepressants to treat chronic afflictions, and much more. Due to the nature of her study, we worked pretty closely with one another, exchanging information, theories, and constructive feedback. Fun times those were. I may not agree with everything she does, mostly combining magic into her practice, but I am proud to call her my comrade. Of course, there's much more to her than experiments, but what fun is there in revealing everything all at once? If you want to know more, you just have to stick around and ask her yourself. But that also means that I have to change the subject. What to say? Perhaps talking about my creative process is in order. By now, I should have a few videos of me drawing up on the channel. So, if you're an artist enthusiastically wanting to ask about the brushes or blending modes I use, fret not, for I was the same long ago. But you might have noticed, I use a very bare bones approach to drawing. No custom brushes, no hotkeys, and limited blending modes. Is it inefficient? Probably. The methodology of a madman? Perhaps. But it works for me in my style. So for the time being, I see no reason to make any altercations. That aside, the only thing that may be different from your setup in comparison to mine is the organization of the tools. Other than that, my software is as pure as the day I downloaded it. Back when Clip Studio was a one-time life payment instead of yet another monthly subscription. Those were the days. But as bare as my method might be, I can still relate to you the tools I frequently use, and I can address how I use them in a different video. So let me list them out. For drafting and line art, I use the G Pen. Back when I first started learning Clip Studio, I primarily used a cropping pen. I made the switch because I found that the G Pen provided more consistent, smooth lines. And I also felt that the way it reacted to pressure was more predictable. A brief tangent on that before we continue. It might be an unpopular opinion, but for me, line art is the most enjoyable part of the process. I consider the lines as the lifeblood of my style. So, if they are not properly doted on, the picture won't seem as lively as I would like it to be. So I need them bold, thick, and all over the place. Alright, turn it over. As for the coloring, I use the marker, thick oil paint, and a round watercolor brush, and a ghost blender, and a basic blending tool to smooth things out. And it is done. In truth, I don't have much experience with complete illustrations like this. More than 95% of my illustration pursuits are devoted to, let's say, designing characters and making character sheets. But I'm hoping to change that throughout the course of this pursuit. But yes, now you are familiar with my research partner, Rapture, so look forward to seeing more appearances of her in the lab. On another note, let me apologize to my what do they call it in your reality again? German. Yes, forgive me, my German-speaking audience, for butchering your accent. Rapture has a bit of one, and I tried my best to transcribe it as it sounded. I tried asking for help, but she essentially refused, saying that it would be a crime to deprive me of the joy of unveiling the truth with my own hands through trial and error. But forget all that. If you guys want to help me out, I welcome it. And for those that are curious to know more about my comrade, feel free to post your questions and theories in the comments below. If they're not too revealing, I'll answer them. That aside, now begs the question for who I should to reveal next. Maybe Tenet, or perhaps Scribe. I suppose only time will tell, but for now, I depart. So enjoy and continue to partake of the cup of the truth.